A missing boy's last known caretaker returns to court later this morning. What we can expect from the courtroom.
Here in the town of Peshtigo, the water is contaminated by so-called forever chemicals. One man shares how it's affecting his home.
The April primary results are in, and Green Bay's City Council is poised to get just a bit younger. I'm NBC 26 Today's McLeod Hageman outside City Hall ahead of tonight's swearing-in ceremony.
It's a sunny start as we look outside over Appleton this morning. I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson, but this sunshine is not going to last forever. And we are already seeing thin clouds build in throughout all of northeast Wisconsin here on that satellite and radar. As we look a little bit further out and further off to the west, we're watching some thunderstorms right now. Eventually, this system is going to make its way to our neighborhoods, but not until later this evening and even overnight. What you are going to notice today is very gusty winds out of the east around 5 to 10 miles an hour now, and only getting breezier into the afternoon. As you're walking out the door, you may just need a light jacket this morning. Our temperatures are in the mid 40s and then getting a little bit warmer into the afternoon.
Following a recount in one of the Green Bay City Council races, that group of people is poised to get just a bit younger. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm NBC 26 Today's McLeod Hageman outside City Hall with a preview of what to expect later tonight and what to expect moving forward with some of these bigger city projects. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at top stories making headlines from neighborhoods across northeast Wisconsin. The last known caretaker of 3-year-old Elijah Vu returns to court later this morning. Jesse Vang is scheduled for an arraignment at the Manitowoc County Courthouse. Vang last appeared 2 weeks ago where a judge ordered him to stand trial. 3-year-old Elijah Vu has been missing for nearly 2 months, and Vang is believed to be the last person to see the little boy. Investigators say Vang claimed responsibility caring for Elijah at his Two Rivers apartment. Vang is facing a chronic child neglect charge, but not directly linked to Elijah's disappearance. A Green Bay man charged in connection to a deadly Christmas Day crash is returning to court. Philip Slazewski is facing 2 counts of knowingly driving on a suspended license and causing death. He faces several other charges, including homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. That stems from a deadly crash that happened Christmas Day on Interstate 43 in Manitowoc County. Police say Slazewski's wife and mother were killed in that crash. Records show Slazewski told police he crashed after trying to pass another vehicle. Police say he hit another SUV on the interstate, and records also show Slazewski told authorities he did drugs sometime the day before the crash. It's the second day of former President Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records in connection to alleged hush money payments made on his behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The first day of the trial ended without any jurors being selected. NBC News reports jury selection could take up to 2 weeks because of the large pool of prospective jurors. The entire trial could take up to 2 months. Authorities say the body of a 4th victim in connection to the Baltimore bridge collapse was discovered trapped inside a construction vehicle. The identity of the victim has not been released by authorities at the request of the family. 6 construction workers were killed in that bridge collapse. In another update, the FBI has opened a criminal investigation into the cargo ship that slammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Sources say the investigation will look into the events before the collapse and possible mechanical problems. Israel is vowing to strike back after Iran hit the country with hundreds of drones and missiles. Now, we spoke with an Israeli official who says a response is imminent. NBC's Bree Jackson has the very latest from Washington.
As the world awaits Israel's response to Iran's attack, President Biden urged restraint from Israel and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the country in its war with Hamas.
We're committed to a ceasefire that will bring the hostages home and preventing conflict from spreading beyond what it already has.
The White House is seeking to prevent a wider war in the Middle East and is working on new sanctions targeting Iran for its attack on one of our closest allies.
We will be working to further isolate Iran internationally and increase economic and other forms of pressure.
Iran's retaliatory strike against Israel has increased pressure for Congress to pass a foreign aid package.
The House must rush to Israel's aid as quickly as humanly possible.
Some Republicans won't back the bipartisan Senate bill.
I am firmly against the plan as it stands right now.
If there's no border security in it, I will not support it.
House Speaker Mike Johnson unveiled plans to bring 4 separate national security bills to the House floor instead. They include standalone aid for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel.
We know that the world is watching us to see how we react.
A sense of urgency for Congress to act amid an uncertain future in the Middle East. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
New from overnight, 3 people are recovering following a garage fire in Alloway. Green Bay Metro firefighters say crews got the call for a possible garage fire in the 700 block of East Briar Lane just after 8:30 last night. Firefighters quickly contained the damage to the garage. The home had minimal smoke damage. Investigators say all people living in that home evacuated before crews arrived, but inhaled smoke trying to find a missing dog. After the fire was out, firefighters safely rescued the dog. The fire caused about $40,000 in damage, and the homeowners will likely have to find a new place to live.
The State Joint Finance Committee is meeting Tuesday to talk about funding for communities impacted by PFAS contamination. I'm Perry Apostolakos reporting in the town of Peshtigo, where one man shares with me how it's affecting his daily life. Trygve Ruud grew up spending his days in the Bay of Green Bay. When he bought a house on the water, he knew it was his dream home. Until one day in 2017 when he got a letter from nearby manufacturing company Tyco Fire Products.
They had an issue with basically a spill of a chemical called PFAS. Prior to that, I really didn't have a clue what that material was.
Because they don't break down easily and can stay in the body for a long time, PFAS are known as forever chemicals. Within a year, Ruud, like other residents, had a water filtration system put in his home by Tyco, and to this day, they send him bottled water.
I'm taken care of right now for a while, but it's not a long-term solution.
And PFAS have also gotten into the bay itself.
And do I let my grandchild come out here and swim in the bay as I did as a kid, as a child? There's days out here when there's white foam washing up on the shore. And we never had that as kids. It's PFAS.
As we've previously reported, Town of Peshtigo chairperson Jennifer Friday says the town would use their share of the $125 million set aside by the state for PFAS-impacted communities to offer water testing to all residents. But the state money has not been given to the communities. Ruud feels for his neighbors who live outside the boundary line where Tyco has taken responsibility.
It leaves everybody standing in the lurch. Those folks just a mile and a half from me here that are on the other side of some imaginary boundary, those are the folks that are hurting. Those are the folks that need that $125 million so that they can have their wells tested.
Andy Rich lives in the city of Marinette, which has also had PFAS contamination. After learning about the pollution, she bought her own water filtration system. She says she thinks even the $125 million isn't enough to deal with the contamination. When she brings up her concerns to elected officials, she says she feels ignored.
It's just incredibly frustrating. Why are we electing these people if they don't want to listen to us? We elected them and we need help, and we're not getting it. I think the only thing that's going to finally get some action to happen is going to be setting regulations, setting limits to how much of this is considered acceptable in our water supply. And until that happens, we're chasing our tails.
The Joint Finance Committee meets Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. In the town of Peshtigo, Perry Apostolakos, NBC 26.
Green Bay Mayor Eric Gendrich's chief of staff is running for a seat in the state legislature. Ahmad Rivera-Wagner announced yesterday he's running for Wisconsin's 90th Assembly District. Now, that seat is currently held by Representative Christina Shelton. Shelton is a Democrat and announced in February she's stepping down from her seat. Both Shelton and Mayor Gendrich say they are endorsing Rivera-Wagner's campaign. The results are in. After Green Bay District 6 alderperson Stephen Campbell paid nearly $4,000 for a recount, he still managed to come up short nearly 14 votes to Joey Presley. I'm NBC 26 Today's McLeod Hageman outside City Hall in Green Bay with a preview of what this change means for the city.
Following a contentious recount between Campbell and Presley, we now have a better idea who will lead the city. With the recount behind him, newly elected alderperson Joey Presley says he wants to make an impact, saying it's an exciting time to be on the city council.
What we can do for housing right now is really exciting because there are opportunities for new development, stuff that's already in the works, looking at new ways that we can make sure we have affordable housing. Some of the new builds are luxury, but want to make sure that we have a good mix of, we need the luxury, but we also need so many new units over the next 10 years.
It's encouraging, the fact that we had 11 of our 12 races were competitive in nature, I think says a lot about our community, because that's not necessarily the case around the state or around the country these days. I think there were actually a number of seats in local government throughout the state of Wisconsin that didn't have anybody.
Mayor Genrich telling me he's especially looking forward to the NFL draft coming to Green Bay, and he's planning to travel to Detroit in the coming weeks to learn what's worked.
Tonight's Green Bay City Council meeting does kick off at 6 o'clock here at City Hall on the second floor. You can attend in person, or if you want to watch that online, you can visit our websites at NBC26.com.
We had beautiful weather across our neighborhoods yesterday, most of us in the 70s for a second day in a row, and our skycast here showing beautiful sunny skies, not a cloud until later in the afternoon, and just a couple of thin clouds moved through northeast Wisconsin. Now we're going to see a lot more clouds for us today, especially into the afternoon hours. It is a mild morning, but strong winds, lots of clouds, and eventually leading to a little bit of rain, even though our temperatures are above normal in the low 60s. So that rain is headed our way, and even some thunderstorms later this evening. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast and that timeline coming up in a couple minutes.
I'm John Erickson in Outagamie County. Coming up, the impact the warmer winter has had on the logging industry.